Hello viewers, I've introduced this segment based on important questions that may be of interest to majority of the audience. Each segment will be short and focused on one question. Today's question is, what to keep in mind while claiming business use of home expenses? Well, we need to understand that Canadian tax laws allow you to claim part of your home expenses as business expenses if you are carrying on your business from home as a self-employed person. These expenses are calculated in Form T2125, also called Statement of Business or Professional Activities. This form is divided into 9 parts, and Part 7 is used to calculate business use of home expenses. The key point while claiming business use of home expenses is that the rules for claiming business use of home expenses are designed in such a manner that the amount you can deduct for business use of home expenses cannot be more than your net income from the business before you deduct these expenses. In simple words, you cannot use these expenses to increase or create a business loss. I will illustrate this point with 2 practical examples. So, we look at example 1. This example assumes that there is a net income of $2,500 from the business before adjustment of business use of home expenses. So other expenses are tabulated below. Heat is $2,100, electricity expense $1,850, insurance expense $650, maintenance cost $1,700, mortgage interest expense $3,500, property taxes $2,100. Other expenses, for simplicity, we assume they are nil. So we add up all the expenses that from 7A to 7G, and we arrive at a figure of $11,900. Now we need to deduct personal use part of business use of home expenses, and for this illustration, we assume 95% of the total expenses are for personal use. So it arrives at a figure of $11,305. What we have done is 11,900 multiplied by 95%. So we are going to deduct this amount, and we arrive at a figure of $595, that is 7H minus 7I. Now this amount, $595, is basically business part of the expenses that you have incurred in your home. So capital cost allowance, business part only. Again, for simplicity, we assume it is nil, as we know that only 5% of the property is being used for business purpose. So just to keep the matter simple, we have made capital cost allowance as 0 or nil. Now amount carried forward from previous year, say it is $150. It means in the previous year we could not adjust the whole amount, so part of the amount was carried forward to current year, that is $150. Now we add up from 7J to 7L, that is $595 plus 0 plus $150, so we arrive at a figure of $745. Now net income loss after adjustments. We know that in the beginning I told you, in this example we assume there is an income or net income of $2,500 in part 5 of this statement T2125. So okay, from that part we have taken this amount, $2,500. Now business use of home expenses available to carry forward. The rule is amount 7M minus 7N. So if negative, enter 0. So when you deduct 745, that is you deduct rather $2,500 from 745, so it would be a negative figure. So this is put as a 0. Now allowable claim is the lesser of amount 7M and 7N above. So we need to enter this amount on line 9945 of part 5, and this amount is $745, because when you compare the two figures, 7M it's $745 while 7N figure is $2,500. So we have to claim the lesser amount, that is $745 in this particular case. Now we move to example 2. In this example, it is assumed that there is a net loss from the business, implying a 0 income before adjustment of business use of home expenses. All other expenses, if you look at these figures, are assumed to be the same. For heat expense, it is $2,100, electricity again $1,850, insurance expense is $650, maintenance cost is $1,700, mortgage interest expense is $3,500, property taxes are $2,100. Other expenses are again assumed to be nil or 0. We add up all the expenses from 7A to 7G, so we arrive at the same figure of $11,900 that we calculated in example 1. Now personal use part of the business use of home expenses is again assumed to be 95%, that is $11,305, and the difference between 7H and 7I is $595. Capital cost allowance is again assumed to be nil or 0. Amount carried forward from previous year is again $150. Now we add up the amount, so we arrive at the same figure of $745 that we calculated earlier in example 1. Now net income loss, now this is the difference, because earlier there was a net income of $2,500 in the previous example. Over here, since it is a loss, so instead of using any negative amount, we are substituting 0 for that negative amount. So business use of home expenses available to carry forward, that is amount 7M, $745 minus amount 7N. So this would be $745 minus 0, that is $745. Since there is nil income, so we cannot really adjust any of the business use of home expenses in the current years. We need to carry forward them to future periods. An allowable claim would be lesser of amount 7M and 7N. So in this case, of course, 7N is the 0 amount that we are allowed to put in our tax return. So we are going to give it on line 9945 of part 5 of T2125. So what is the conclusion that may be drawn from these two examples? So these two examples demonstrated the fact that you cannot use business use of home expenses to increase or create a business loss. So if before adjustment your income is on the lower side while your business use of home expenses on the higher side, the difference must be carried forward to future periods. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please press the bell icon and subscribe to my channel for viewing more such educational videos. Thank you for watching.